Op re-evaluates his relationship after finding out that his GF is part of a mean girls group along with some of her friends. I found out that my 27M GF 23F of 9 months is part of mean girls type clique and am reconsidering the relationship. I met this girl I'll call Katie at a school event about a year ago and we really clicked and soon made things official. I understand that I saw things partly through rose-colored glasses, but I really liked this girl to the point that I started thinking she might be the one. We just matched well on every level, have similar hobbies, but importantly I thought she was a really good and kind person. Now something happened that really made me reevaluate things. We were sitting in bed and she was texting and laughing about something. I glanced at the phone and saw the Tinder profile of a guy, which made me think WTF. When she went to take a shower, I am not super proud of this. I admit I snooped given what I thought I saw and checked her phone. When her phone opened up it turns out that she wasn't on Tinder, but rather on a group chat with some friends and the Tinder pic was a screenshot. Of course that was a relief, but the rest of the context was just as bad in some ways. The group chat was basically a one-topic channel, where the theme was roasting the guys they hooked up with or were dating. And it was very explicit, talking about specific guys, together with their pics and joking about their inadequacy in bed or even how ill-endowed they were. As far as I scrolled I wasn't featured on there, but I saw Katie herself write really mean comments, for example about a guy her friend was with who got emotional during time, basically calling him a pathetic loser. I was just shocked to read those comments, because it seemed so out of character for her. When she got back in the room I fessed up to the snooping and confronted her. Surprisingly she wasn't really mad, but she also wasn't remorseful in the least. She said the chat was with her closest friends and they always talked about everything. I told her I thought it was really ducked up to talk this way about other people, especially since it wasn't just randos. I recognized a few mutual friends discussed on there in an implicit way and I am sure they didn't consent to that information being discussed. But again she got really defensive, said those were her closest friends and what they talk about is their business. I asked her if she talked about us as well, and she refused to answer. The conversation kind of tapered off at that point since we both realized we were too emotional and not getting anywhere, but I still feel very uncomfortable with the situation. I am afraid to be overreacting, but I am very seriously thinking about ending the relationship. I can't believe I am dating someone who thinks it's okay to treat other people this way and join in the public humiliation of people who did nothing wrong. But I would like some outside perspective from others if they've been in any kind of similar situation and or if they think I am blowing this out of proportion. Some comments. I asked her if she talked about us as well, and she refused to answer. She refused to answer. That means yes, I would press her on that. But that's me. I'm gonna throw you another perspective in here. Most men I know have group chats with each other that are literally so hellish that I wouldn't be able to scroll through it for a minute. Also, men never show these group chats the objectification of women, the vulgar jokes and mean comments. It's literally just banter for them. Sometimes the sweetest or nicest guys I've met surprisingly say the worst things in those chats, but I realized it might be part of group pressure to say these things. I honestly have only met one guy that wasn't part of this kind of group chat that was in his 20s. I'm not sure what kind of guy you are, but if you have been part of these kind of group chats yourself, you are in no position to judge. If you are not this kind of person at all, then yes, maybe someone else with similar views would suit you better, but I think the rest of the comments fail to bring in this perspective. You should reevaluate yourself honestly before you judge your partner. Edit. I didn't expect this comment to blow up. Thanks for all your perspectives on this thread. Yes, of course not all men are the same. I am just saying from what I've seen, this is really common among men too, to an extent that can become very timeless now. There are 7 billion people in the world. You may have different experiences. However, I live in the Netherlands, Europe, one of the most emancipated countries in the world, and it is still extremely common for men to behave this way. And from what I know about the US, I find that there's even more casual timeless jokes based on your TV shows I've seen, like How I Met Your Mother or That 70s Show. So before you bash me about my environment, I would seriously reevaluate your own. Someone counters this, quite frankly, awful take on the situation. Lamau. The double standards continue to grow more egregious on this site. I am fairly certain that if there was a woman on here commenting, I found out my BF calls women pigs and makes fun of their bodies with his friends, you, along with everyone else, would be saying red flag. Or don't walk, run, because he was showing his true self. But a woman does it and your response is to say it's okay. Most men do it too. It's not her fault because her friends are pressuring her. How asinine is that? Two wrongs don't make a right. Hang out with nice people. Society has been shaming men for this behavior for quite some time now. We call them chauvinists. When Trump made the grab em by the pussy comment and some said it was just locker room talk, did women everywhere say, oh that's fine then? Completely absurd that you tried to justify her actions, and to redirect the conversation towards ops behavior. You should be ashamed. Start acting like women have the agency to be bad people. Show them some respect also. I quote, you are basing this statistic that most men have a group chat where they sit around and dog on their hookups off of, but you fabricated that simply to support your pandering. Most guys don't talk poop about their hookups because in a way that negatively reflects on them. I would posit that more men make stuff up in the bragging sense. Oop replies to now deleted comment where he confirms that what he found out made him lose his attraction towards his GF. Honestly, if this is something that ruins the attraction to her, leave her. Yay, it really does. It really changed how I see her. TBH, it's just kind of a mindfuck, because I can't really reconcile what I thought I knew about her and this behavior. It's not just her either, I also know some of her friends on that group chat, and I also thought before that they seemed like nice normal girls. The weird part is that she made it look like this kind of talk was so normal, like she was surprised that I was so put off by it. Now I wonder if it may be more common to people to vent like this private with friends, but I still find it hard to accept. Like if a guy friend told our friend group about a girl he hooked up with and started making fun of her private parts, I would be super creeped out and think the guy is in a shoal for violating the girl's privacy like that. Someone replies, this is normal behavior for mean girls. That's what they do. They have to tear people down to feel good about themselves. The fact that she was not remorseful doesn't bode well for her changing anytime soon. Good luck. Update 2. I found out that my 27M GF 23F of 9 months is part of mean girls type clique. I broke up with her. This all actually happened a few days after my original post, but things have been pretty hectic since then. But I wanted to write a quick update since I got some useful advice in the first thread. The best advice was to insist on seeing the chat one last time to see if she had written anything about me. She initially said no, because it also has private information about her friends, etc., but I basically said if she doesn't let me see the texts it's over, and she reluctantly agreed, but told me to keep in mind that this was a year ago and how much we grew as a couple since then, blah blah blah. I scrolled to the period when we started dating and yeah, sure enough there I was in the texts. It actually made me feel really weird reading other people talking about me. Right around the time we first slept together, someone asked her if I was better than some guy, apparently a former FWB of hers. Without missing a beat she fires back no, that it was kinda disappointing because I was nervous and had some performance anxiety, and then actually went into detail about what we did. She knew I was feeling anxious since I hadn't been with anyone in a while after a bad breakup, and she was supporting in person, so it felt extra poopty that behind my back she was complaining about me. A friend of hers even mocked me and she said nothing. Katie saw the look on my face and tried to tell me again that we grew so much and things became really good when we got comfortable with each other and connected. She even showed me a text where she said that to her friends. But honestly at that point I was already done. I asked her to move out, and after a bit of drama and nasty words, she moved her stuff to her mother's place. As others said, I have no doubt they are not talking poop about me together, but honestly I could not care less what those pieces of poop are chattering about. I just never want to see any of them ever again. Some comments. No, silly, that would be infringing on my friend's privacy. Proceeds to describe every aspect of super intimate encounter with BF without his consent. Oh, right, privacy. Someone thinks Oop made a mistake. I'm going to suggest that you made a mistake. Remember, our relationships is notorious for breaking people up over literally everything. What was the rest of your relationship like? I'm not sure what the resolution is at this point, but people do grow. At what point is she supposed to ditch her friends? They would notice if she suddenly dipped. Hopefully they'd settle down at some point. I feel like a black book messenger chat is a very minor way of expressing the darkest part of her heart. Those places exist in everyone. Denying the outlet is just going to create unexpected consequences. I realize that not everyone has these dark spaces, and it's hard to understand, but when you have them, finding a harmless outlet is a blessing. I see this as very similar to listening to guys on online gaming, except we're conditioned to expect and accept it, and you are blown away by the reality of it. You seem so sweet, kind, loving and gentle, and you found out your lady has a dark side. This is something that most women see in their partners and have to settle with every day. I'm not saying you should settle for it. I'm just asking you to take a walk down the mountain of Reddit's moral high ground and evaluate the alternatives. What attracts you to her? Will you find this anywhere else? Do you feel like she gives you special treatment or is hiding something? Is she just connecting with her friends in a ducked up way that you really can't deal with? I can tell you're not the type of guy who deserve this, but I really don't think you should throw away your relationship over this. Really think about it. Are your feelings really hurt that bad? Did she exaggerate for the sake of storytelling? I mean, I feel like men are so fragile compared to women, so fragile their pride gets in the way of their own satisfaction. I really hope you're happy either way, but in my heart I hope it works out for you both if the rest of the relationship is fine. Also, don't go through her messages anymore unless you think she's cheating or taking advantage of you. Everyone deserves an outlet, no matter how dark. She wasn't even mad at you for snooping. That's a dead ringer, for she's got nothing else to hide. Someone else fires back. I feel like men are so fragile compared to women, so fragile their pride gets in the way of their own satisfaction. Really? Men are allowed to feel hurt and upset that their partners, male or female, betrayed their trust. This includes talking poop about them behind their backs. As a woman, I'd be furious if I found out my partner was discussing any dissatisfaction with my body to his best mates, and if he was poking fun at something he already knows I'm sensitive about. An ops case, having not had time in ages, in my case my itty bitty titties, there will be hell to pay. What an absolute betrayal of trust, and you're very wrong about ops pride getting in the way of his satisfaction. It takes a confident person to know what they want from a partner and a relationship, and to walk away from it when they realize the other party has fallen short and doesn't intend on changing or improving. And I can tell you, being in a relationship where your partner belittles you behind your back is not the least bit satisfying. And to everyone saying all women do this, no, we do not. I have never heard a girlfriend talk about her partner's body, have never discussed my partner's body, and I never want to either. Just because you have a toxic group chat does not make it normal, and this behavior should never be normalized. Number 1 rule in life: if someone gossips or talks poop about others, it is a fact they are doing the same behind your back. I'm glad you followed your gut and did what was right. Hopefully she learned something from her actions and words. Words are like knives, they can cut deep, and this says a lot about who you are. It says you're a kind and loyal person with a good heart. Good karma will come your way. Friendly reminder that I am not the op. This is a repost. Story 2. I'm breaking up with fiance of 11 years BC. All she wants to do is party. I'm 28M and not too big of posting, so let's see how this goes. I've been with my now fiance 29F for 11 years. We were high school sweethearts. As of late, all my fiance wants to do is go to bars and drink with her new friends' coworkers, and it's really starting to bother me. For some context, as I mentioned above, we've been together for 11 years. I was a football playing in high school, so I have had a more athletic build. She was more of a loser, not trying to be harsh, just being honest, in high school, so she was more lonely. With me being an ex-football player and going to college, I got invited to parties and gatherings constantly. She's always been unsure of herself, so she really didn't want me to go to those gatherings. She insisted that I was going to find someone better than her there, so I shouldn't go. I'm more of a homebody anyway, so I didn't mind not going. Don't get me wrong, I would have liked to attend some of the gatherings, but I would rather comfort her more by not going. Fast forward the last 2 years and she just started her new RN nursing job. We both have really good jobs and make good money. She started getting invites to hang out with friends after work. I'm not a jealous guy, so I don't care. We both work overnight, so she would go to breakfast with her coworkers in the mornings after work. Again, I'm not worried about it. The breakfast in the morning slowly progressed to where now she's going bar hopping with her friends at night and not getting home until 3 a.m. She lost some weight in that time, so I attributed it to being more confident. We're saving for a house, planning on having kids soon, and I just proposed in December and she wanted to be married by February 2023. With all that in mind, I've been grinding my BTT to save extra money, picking up odd shifts when I can and making lifestyle sacrifices. One day she asked me if she can go to a bar with her coworkers for his or her B-day. Mind you, she had already been out 3 different times for coworkers' B-days this month. I told her I didn't think it was a good idea and she should give it a little break. She got upset with me, telling me I'm not letting her live her life the way she wants to live her life. She also said since I would, then it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I was originally scheduled off for that day, but I picked up an odd shift. I told her that and she got upset. Now we're broken up and trying to figure it all out. She says that I shouldn't hold her not allowing me to go places over her head. I told her that I'm not trying to hold it overhead, but we have life goals that require something different than just going out all night and having a good time. I told her I'm all for her going out, but can she do it in moderation? Maybe instead of going out with friends 4 times in 1 month, maybe she could go with them 2 times in 1 month and pick up 2 odd shifts. She said she doesn't want to do overtime on her days off like I do. She now saying I'm too demanding. Like if she wants to get tattoos all over her body, I should allow that. If she wants to smoke ed and party, I should allow that. I told her I'm not trying to stop her from doing what she wants to do. I just won't be here standing by until she's ready to get this family life back on the road. Am I wrong here? I losing my poop. Edit. Thank you for all the replies. Most comments seems to agree. For the few that say why is 4 times too much per month? It's not about the times per se. It's more about me committing to furthering our future while she only wants to go out and have fun. If she was going out on average 8 times per month, I would ask her to go out 4 and pick up 4-hour shifts. I know she's a nurse and we both have trying tough jobs, but drinking 2-4 times per week and bar hopping isn't the answer. I also forgot to mention that she's the one who was asking for more of a commitment prior to her starting her new job. She told me that we had been together too long for her not to at least have a ring on her finger or a child. She wanted all this first. When we were 22-25 years old, she would want me have a child with her. I was uncomfortable at the time because I wanted to be settled in my career first. I grew up with a tougher lifestyle, so I wanted to make sure I could take care of my children by myself comfortably if it had come to that. P.S. Sorry for so many typos if the initial statement. I wasn't thinking it would be this many people looking at this lol. I would have least proofread the first statement. Edit. This will be my last post. So, I've decided to break up with her and get my ring back, spent over $15,000 on the ring. Now she's literally on her knees begging, pleading, and asking for forgiveness. I told her that I'm over this relationship, and now all she's doing is crying. Sucks it's had to come to this for her to truly understand how I was feeling, but it is what it is. Thank you everyone for the advice. I'll see what happens from here. Edit. This will really be my last post. So, I see a lot of people saying that I'm controlling. I'm not one to look past criticism, but I have to say I disagree. When she says I'm not allowing her to do stuff, should have been worded better. What I mean by that is she wants to seemingly be tatted from head to toe. She wants to be out trying Molly, ed, mushrooms, etc. because that's what her friends are doing. I'm sorry, I would rather not have a GF fiance with tattoo everywhere and does hardcore drugs. In addition to that, she already has 3 big tattoos on her person now, from the top of her shoulder to her elbow type tats. I like what I like, and nothing can change that. When I say allow, what I'm actually saying is, she can do whatever she wants to do. However, if I don't like what she does, I have every right to leave, right? Am I wrong for not wanting a wife that's tattooed from head to toe and does mushrooms? As for the people advising I should just talk to her more, this same attitude has been going on for 7 months now. I talked to her when I first began to notice the change, but nothing has changed. Today was my breaking point. I hope I addressed most concerns. Lastly, for the people saying 4 times a month is not that much, I'm not saying 4 times is too much. I simply saying, could she at least implement some odd in there somewhere? That way, she could live her best life while also showing me that she's still working towards our life goals. Last thing is, some of you guys are DCKS lol. I'm literally asking for advice. There's no need to be harsh to either me or her. Just give advice. That would be greatly appreciated. Top comment. You grew apart, dude. The only thing I see wrong in this relationship is that allowing the other to do something is a thing. You are deciding for different things on life right now. What can you do? What can anyone do? We all should find what makes us happy and follow that path. It just seems like your path is not together with hers anymore. It sucks. That's it. Update 10 months later. I stayed with my fiance, and it bit me in the lower back. Hello Reddit, back at it again. So, in my last post, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, I was talking about how my fiance was starting to go out with her friends more. I don't really want to rewrite the entire post, so hopefully you can see it. Long story short, I found out she was cheating me today. The crazy thing is, I was truly getting ready to leave her around the time of my last post. I was done, but she got pregnant. I stayed with her trying to make it work, and she was cheating the entire time. Basically, I've been working overtime a lot because she doesn't get paid for her baby bonding time. Since she doesn't get paid, I picked up the slack and worked. We have Ring cameras throughout the house that consistently pick up motion. While I was at work, I repeatedly would get a notification of motion detected. It's not uncommon for her to be up this late due to us having a newborn and the baby consistently being hungry. I go and check the camera and I hear she's on the phone. On the camera it sounds like she's on the phone with a guy. I'm thinking to myself, that's strange. Let me call her and see who she's on the phone with. She says, oh, I was on the phone with my friend. The friend she was referring to is a female. I tell her to go watch the video because it sounds like she's on the phone with a guy. She says no, she wasn't on the phone with a guy, she was listening to a video of a guy talking while talking to her friend. At this point, I'm on high alert. I'm trying to figure out how to catch her lie blatantly because she adamant that it was the video of a guy talking that I was hearing. So, here's what I do. I didn't want to tell her to send me the contact of her friend because her friend would obviously lie for her, and she would delete the guy's number. Spoiler alert, she had the guy's number under her friend's number. So I FaceTime her. I have her screen share with me. I then have her go to her friend's contact, and strange, why is there two numbers listed? She says, oh, her friend has two phones so she had both number. I say okay. I call the first number on my work phone and a guy picks up the phone. SMH. She finally admitted to talking to the guy for a year, but she claims she hadn't cheated with him. She started talking to him when we were going through a rough patch in our relationship. I've always told her that if she wanted to be with someone else, she could just leave. I'm not a cry for you type of guy, and I would respect her a lot more for just being honest about her wanting to be with someone else. Hoop sucks. I've been with this girl for 11 going on 12 years, high school sweethearts. I'm not a bad looking guy and I've turned down a lot of women to be faithful to her. She literally wasted a ton of my life that I could never get back. We just had a kid, a house together. Now all of that is over with, so I guess the moral of this story is don't ignore the signs of cheating. Her phone would always be on do not disturb. She suddenly wanted to be out with her friends. She would do other suspicious things that I just can't think of right now. I will be getting a paternity test on the child to see if he's mine. Just heartbroken and torn. I'm also not the KLL myself type, so don't worry lol. Just need some time to get over the heartbreak. Thanks for reading. Update. To add to the heartbreak, I learned that the guy she cheated on me with is 37 years old with 5 kids. For comparison, I'm 29 with no kids except the one I might share with her. I make $150K a year with a really stable job. She's also 29. He's a hospital janitor. Can't make this crap up, dude. She cheated on me with him after knowing him for 1 month. She had time and suck his D in his car on their lunch break. You can't make this poop up.